Today I'm in the wood yard. It's a STIHL day. Here we go. You can believe your eyes. This is a STIHL 500i. An MS, if you like to say that part. It's a 500i STIHL chainsaw. Now this is not my chainsaw, this is Mike's. Mike helps out here once in a while, quite a lot actually. He's done repairs on my Ultra. He trims out here, gets rid of weeds. He cuts a bunch of wood. Just helps out and does all kinds of good stuff. He's a retired guy and likes to help and likes to be here, so he helps out a lot. Now, he's always been a STIHL guy. He's got other STIHL chainsaws, and he and his son started cutting a lot of wood because his son lives about 5 hours south of here, and he goes and visits his son, and when he goes there, his son heats with wood, so he gets a lot of tree service wood, a lot of big stuff. And his son bought a 661, and that's a nice saw. And Mike wanted to get a bigger saw because he's got some smaller STIHLs, so he bought the 500, and it's a screamer. So now I have run other 500i's, probably 5 or 6 different ones I've cut with, but I've never cut a lot. I've only ever cut, 4 or 5 cuts, and like, oh yeah, cut's good. I'm going to fill it up with gas, and I'm going to run a whole tank, maybe a little bit more, we'll see. And I've got some tree service wood right here. We've got this locust that we got. There's some basswood, some bigger stuff here, so I'm going to work on whittling this stuff down. I figure the 500 is a good saw for this locust because locust is pretty hard wood, and this stuff needs to get cut up because it's kind of in the way, so we're going to whittle on it. Here we go. So what's different about this STIHL saw compared to some of the other models they have is it does have a priming bulb, which some guys are afraid of those, which I don't know why because they work. It's got a stop button. So it's basically always on, and so you just prime it, push the decompression, start it up, and you run it. And then you hit the stop button when you want it to stop. So I like that. That is really nice. You just push it in, you're done, and it shuts off. So it's very cool. For this saw, a lot of guys love these things. And they're nice saws. There's nothing wrong with them at all. So they are a little different than some of the other STIHL chainsaws. No, when it comes to the name, some guys say STIHL, some guys say STIHL. I don't see any E's in there. That to me looks like STIHL. So if there was an E there, or 2 E's, maybe then I would say STIHL. But it says STIHL. You tell me in the comments, tell me, is it STIHL with E's, or an E, or is it STIHL with an I? Because there's an I there. I don't know if you ever noticed that. There it is. Okay, let's get cutting. So there, I did one tank, and I did hit a little bit of dirt doing some of these. When I was ripping some of them, there was some dirt in there. So it did get a little dull towards the end there. So I'm gonna touch it up. I'm gonna run another tank through it because I'm gonna do some more ripping. And I haven't cut locust. This is honey locust. I haven't cut honey locust in quite a while. This is some really heavy, really dense stuff. And I just happened to have one stick of basswood right over here that I cut. Where is it? This one right here, that's basswood. I cut a couple cuts on there. It's like cutting a piece of pine. It was like it wasn't even there. And the locust, you got to work at it. It's some dense stuff. It definitely some tough wood. So now I'm going to touch up the chain. I got my stuff set up over here. I got my little vise and the Dremel, and I'm going to touch it up, and then we're going to cut another tank. So it seems I have to explain this every time I use a Dremel to sharpen a chain. There's a lot of guys that will only use a file to sharpen a chain, and if they're happy doing that, go for it. I hand filed for 30 years, and I cut a couple hundred full cords of firewood every year and sell it. Once I started using the Dremel with a 7/32 Oregon stone bit, it's way faster, way easier, everybody's sharp. For those of you that say it isn't, you probably haven't tried it. So we're gonna touch it up, and then we're gonna go back to cutting. So there it is, sharp. I made a mark because I looked, I didn't see any colored link anywhere. There's like a little brass colored gold link, didn't see it. And the one side of the chain was sharp. They were all good, the tips are good, but the far side was not. There was some reggy teeth in there. I must have hit some little sand or something. This is the little vise. It's the in the woodyard vise. Guys have been asking about this. And yes, we're gonna make another batch. First batch sold out. And we got another batch. We got enough orders now. I think we can get another batch made, and it's just on a sled. So Bert makes these, and we do sell them. So if you're interested, let me know. All right, gonna fill her up with some fuel and some oil and get back to cutting.
Uh-huh.
she is. I just emptied the second tank. We're gonna pop this off and see how much goodies are in the back here. This just lift off. Looks like it. Looks like there's some powder in there. Oh yeah, lots. So not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it'd be more coarse stuff in there, but there's a lot of fines. So it seems to be working. There's a bunch of dust around on the inside here though too, so there we go. She's all clean again. But anyway, I just cleaned out the filter and that's it. Just that 1/4 turn and it's on. All right, so 2 tanks through it. My opinion, yes, yes, and yes. It cuts well, cuts fast, plenty of power, not too heavy. The one thing I like about it over my 592 is a little lighter. It's a screamer, she cuts really good. And I got it dull again too. I did hit a little bit of dirt, so I gotta sharpen it up. But here's the carnage from today. All locust pretty much. And I did rip a lot of them because the locust is extremely heavy, as most of you that have worked with it know. It's like one of the most dense, heaviest wood. Like by the cubic foot, it's very heavy wood. And this is really fresh green wood, so it's heavy. So because I don't have a log lift and because I'd rather rip pieces than use a log lift, because I see guys struggling just to get their logs to the log lift, and they spend a lot of time fighting it, rolling it. Well, I just rip them in half and then I can lift them. So I don't know, I let the saw do the work. That's my opinion. And this saw works. 500i. Now, what I'd have to say that I really like about it is that it's got a lot of speed. It's got the throttle response of what my Husqvarnas do. My 592, my 572s, and even the 562. They're right now. Whereas some of the other stills that I have run, they aren't quite as quick. They have the torque, but this is for sure the quickest one. I've ran a 400 a couple times, but the 500 is right now, it's a crotch rocket. That's what it's like. Starts really good. Even when it was hot, it started really good. And I do like the stop button. You just push the button right here, it stops it. I like that you can prime it, get some fuel in there, and she started right up. I do have to sharpen the chain and tighten it because I just ran it for a while. And I don't know how many tanks are through this one yet. Mike might have 6, 7, 8 tanks through it. 9 maybe, I don't know. It's not that old. I know he hasn't run it that much. I can tell because the bar's been flipped once that I can see here, and it's still the original chain. So she's cutting really good. So tomorrow, I think, or the next day, one of the next couple days, what I want to do is I'm going to take my 562, the new 562, my 572, and then I'm going to take, those are Husqvarnas, and then I'm going to take the Echo 7310, and then this I'm going to sharpen up again, get ready to go, the 500i, and then I'm going to use my 592, and I'm going to cut with each of them and just talk about the differences and what they do. So that's going to be coming up. So we're going to run Echo, STIHL, and Husqvarna all tomorrow or the next day. I think tomorrow. It's supposed to be a nice day again tomorrow, so we'll find out. There it is, folks. That's it for today. That's all I got. Right now, you're going to go watch all the other videos on my channel, and then tomorrow morning, I'll see you at 5:30 a.m. There'll be a new video, brand new one, every morning. Good night, Irene.